American government spending has reached $8.9 trillion annually. This capital is not controlled by a single group of politicians in Washington, D.C. Exactly 90,888 distinct government entities slice up that pie. At MoneyFacts USA, we are pulling the receipts on these overlapping jurisdictions to show exactly who is cutting the checks and where your tax dollars land. The U.S. government functions as a decentralized web of competing interests, every under the authority of multiple administrative layers simultaneously. Look at Lebanon, Kansas, the geographic center of the lower 48 states. A resident here answers to the City of Lebanon, Smith County, a school district, Kansas, and the federal government. The largest layer is often invisible: special districts. There are 40,000 single-purpose entities nationwide, like Lebanon's Rural Fire Protection District. Regardless of your zip code, your finances are tied to at least 5 or 6 distinct government layers at any given moment. This flowchart shows the path of the $8.9 trillion. The federal government spends $5.1 trillion directly, acting as a transfer agent, moving another $1.1 trillion down to state and local governments. Combined with local revenue, they manage 57% of total spending. Support for individuals in need represents 19% of the total outlay. While states manage programs like Medicaid and SNAP, they secure federal matches to cover up to 83% of the costs. Education accounts for 15% of the budget, but the federal contribution is low. State and local sources provide 90% of the funding for your local school district. Services that impact your daily routine, like schools, police, and infrastructure, are funded by the layers of government closest to your front door. Extracting $8.9 trillion requires a network of collection points. The federal government relies on income and payroll taxes, while states diversify through sales taxes, corporate taxes, and professional licenses. This pie chart shows that local governments function as property tax specialists. 69% of their revenue comes directly from property owners to fund local services. 9 states operate without an income tax. These jurisdictions typically compensate by implementing higher sales or property tax rates compared to the national average. Avoiding one tax layer usually results in a heavier lift from another localized entity. The government secures its revenue through these various overlapping tiers. The July 2025 Big Beautiful Bill Act introduces a change in how this money moves. This legislation reduces federal funding for several shared programs, transferring the financial burden to individual state budgets. This relies on the constitutional principle that any power not explicitly granted to the federal government is reserved for the states. As federal grants decrease, the 90,000 entities we've identified must secure new revenue sources to maintain their current infrastructure and services. This decentralized structure forces each district to renegotiate its tax rates, which will lead to significant legal and fiscal adjustments at the state level. We are building data sets to track these changes state by state. Drop your location in the comments, and we will pull the comparison data for your specific district. Make sure to subscribe for the next breakdown.